Hello, good morning everyone, EagleX here, and today I have a deck profile, one of our last of the BT6EX1 formats. I have my girlfriend here, Charizard fan, if you want to say hello.
What's up?
We're going to go over her Commandramon deck profile she used throughout Nationals. She finished very strong with it, just barely missing day 2 by 2 points. But it's going to be a fun conversation going over. I know this is a favorite deck of a lot of people in this format. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our deck profile. So here's your deck profile for Commandramon. You got a lot of the bread and butter staples. If you're playing Commandramon, you got 16 Commandramon. You don't really want to skip out on that. But then with this approach, it is more of a security Commandramon playstyle. So what was it that made you prefer this over using like Tankdramons and I guess more the traditional pure black based Commandramon?
I like having the interaction for security. So, like, if my opponent's going to be rushing me down, knowing that there probably is a Geogreymon in there to stop them or even, you know, finish game. If I'm one mon short of, you know, taking game, it's nice to have that Geogreymon check. I also just really like security control. So this was kind of... I like security control. I also like Rookie Rush, so like this is kind of the best of both worlds in that sense. I also, during BT4, I did try making a Commandramon deck. It kind of sucked, but seeing it more in action now is really, really nice. It's actually really consistent, and I think that, you know, for Nationals, if I would have had more time to playtest it, I mean, there definitely would be changes that I would have made, because I did, security control was one thing that I kind of was suffering with, and then a little bit with Diaboromon, just because they have blockers. If I had to change anything, I would take out probably an Ultimate Flare or 2 for 2 Ogremon, just because Flare really only was good against Gabumon, but I beat every single Gabumon deck that I went up against. So honestly, the flares just were kind of dead cards, especially against security control. So Ogremon really worked well trying to get rid of Mechanori, which is my biggest weakness.
Yeah, and I noticed you have 4 Hagurumon from the EX1 set. In playtesting, I know we messed around with this a little bit, but it seems like you're saying it's just a consistent deck, and that's one of those cards that really enables consistency. All the games you played, it was never really a dead card in hand, was it? You always had the target to discard and draw to.
Yeah, I always had something to discard, draw to, even if it was like a Mechanori or another Haguru. I mean, it just being a cyborg or a machine that just it worked really well with everything. So. And
for those who don't know, all the Commandramons are cyborgs, and then Haguru being machine, Mechanori being machine. And on top of that, for more consistency, you have extra draw with Cordramon. You have extra draw with Izzy Joes. Izzy's just a good memory fixer. He stacks your deck so you can guarantee more of your Commandramon procs. Zwart Defeat, did that come up often in your run? Like, was it checked frequently, or was it just good for popping Tamers, or was it kind of dead?
I like Zwart Defeat. It gives you that flexibility for Tamers. Because Tamers, it is nice to be able to delete them. It's one of the only 2 really ways you can delete Tamer at this time. But there were times where people found it in security, and it just is a big threat on board. I mean, they can either swing over it, losing something, or, you know, and it was nice because there was a game where I Iron Fisted Onslaught 2 Zwart defeats against security control. And then I had an Omnimon Zwart out, so, like, you know, they obviously popped their Zwart defeats, but then they popped my Zwart defeat, so I got to board wipe them, essentially, because I got to delete something that was not deleted by Iron Fisted Onslaught. So
you just got more value out. So it definitely carried its part. Mm-hmm. Now, the one thing that would really give me some worries about looking at this deck up front is the 2 Magnadramon. I feel like it's going to be a card that's either dead in your hand, or it just gives your opponent game. Did you ever find that just, like, making it so you won the game after you played it, or... explain those scenarios.
Yeah, so Magnadramon was really helpful. I mean, like, if it was in security, it's just kind of a dead card during the whole game. but it's really really good against decks that are like Rookie heavy or Rush style decks. So like against Gabubond, it really helped because, you know, obviously they don't have game, they can't really take game, and it would just help recover. And since they lost to Gabubond because, you know, they bond warped, I mean, the Commandramon just kind of gave me more tempo with my security. I really do like it, though, because also with Izzy, being able to stack the top 3 cards however I want to, there were times where it was really nice knowing that I was going to recover a Zwart or a Flare or whatever I needed for, you know, the matchup.
So it had more synergy with that, too.
Mm-hmm.
And you briefly talked about some changes you wanted to make. Yeah, in hindsight, you wish you had less Flares and more Ogremons.
Yeah.
The eggs, would you change anything about those?
Yeah, I would definitely change Misumon to the Sunamon rare from BT1. The one that says if this Digimon has same name as something else on the field, you know, it gets plus 2,000. Because then the big Commandramon with 5,000, it can swing over Mechanori with 7,000 or crash if they have a tie. And it was just a really good way to get a free check if they had a Mechanori on board, which I've noticed during my run, the 2 games that I suffered against all had Mechanori. And then, of course, the one game that I tied also had Mechanori because it was security control. So,
yeah. Well, with that being said, I know we've messed a little bit with BT7 format with Commandramon. Do you think you can carry this deck on forward?
I think it's gonna have its issues, but I think with the black hybrids, I think it's gonna be better because people aren't gonna, you know, be aware that, oh, Izzy's on the field and I can just Digivolve over it and take game. I do think that with the Dark Knightmon package, I think it becomes a little bit more less security and more, you know, like big boss monsters and spamming the board. So that's something that I would probably look into, but I also know that with, you know, Tamers being pretty much rookies and all of that, it is going to be a little difficult for this deck, I think.
Yeah, so the security version of it kind of dies due to change of format.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you guys enjoy this content. If you do, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And that being said, take care, y'all.